I think it's the new Uber of healthcare. So, I mean, it's going to kind of change the healthcare industry. You don't have these big corporations with buildings and whatnot. So you're just pooling your money, paying each other's bill.
If they're negotiating the rates down with the hospital or the doctors, then that final bill is going to be overall much cheaper. So that brings everybody's costs down.
Going to like a health share platform, it saves most people 40 to 60% off your standard medical insurance.
It's one way that the small business owners can stay competitive in the market by just offering something that maybe their competitors don't have.
I'd say mostly healthy individuals that don't need insurance a lot. It's just a great program, save you a lot of money.
Hi, and welcome to the Key Concepts podcast. Oftentimes, people are stuck with very large health premiums. I know for my friends who are contractors or small business owners, it's like $1,000 a month for a family plan, if not more. And they're just getting the basic services, which is why I'm excited to be joined by Aaron Provencal, who is a representative of Impact Health. Aaron, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
For someone hearing about Impact Health for the first time, how would you explain what it is and how it works?
So it's very similar to standard insurance, but it's not insurance. It's called health sharing. So instead of you paying your premiums to a large corporation with shareholders and a lot of overhead, what people do is they just pool their funds together to cover each other's medical costs. So it's very inexpensive. This is a nonprofit organization, so you've got to cut out a lot of overhead. So it's going to be I think it's the new Uber of healthcare. So, I mean, it's going to kind of change the healthcare industry.
Yeah, the Uber of healthcare. I like the way you put it because it's really a community way driven for rideshare. And so this is kind of that for health insurance. From your perspective, when people come and find out about Impact Health, like what is the challenge that they're typically facing?
Traditional health insurance has gone up and up and up for families and businesses. It's very concerning how much has gone up. For me personally, what attracted to me. So we started our new company, OsteoStrong. I was looking for benefits for our employees, and just the costs were just outrageous. So going to like a health share platform, it saves most people 40 to 60% off your standard medical insurance. So for us, that was a big deal. Just for my family alone, I got a quote through a couple of the like Kaisers and Western Health Advantage, and it was going to be $3,000 a month for a family of 5 that we have. So with Impact Health, I'm able to cut those costs down to $750 a month. So the amount of savings I have every year is just substantial.
Yeah, I've heard quotes upwards to that amount as well. That's crazy. But you mentioned something, and I didn't kind of have this prepared, but I want to dive into it. It's you're a business owner, you have OsteoStrong, and you're offering this to your employees as well. Is that right?
Yeah, so this is something that you can, any small business can use as well. As long as you have under 50 employees, so 49 or less, then you can participate in a health share platform like this instead of your traditional insurance.
That's actually massive because I know a lot of small businesses that struggle offering that to their employees, and their employees sometimes need a healthcare option and often leave because of those health benefits. And so it's one way that the small business owners can stay competitive in the market by just offering something that maybe their competitors don't have. That's actually a really good strategic angle that they can play. Who would this program be a good fit for, and who would it not be a good fit for?
So it's mainly geared towards healthy individuals. So people that are health conscious and don't use their insurance a lot. I mean, that's what really attracted me to them because I don't use insurance hardly ever. And to spend $3,000 a month for my family, that's pretty tough. So they do have some exclusions. If you have like some pre-existing conditions where you're getting treatments for, they've got like a 36-month waiting period before you can get any coverage for those items. But there is some exclusions to that. So if it's like high blood pressure or high cholesterol, if you're being treated for that, that's not excluded. But I'd say mostly healthy individuals that don't need insurance a lot. It's just a great program, save you a lot of money. And you've got that peace of mind that you do have coverage in case you need it.
So would this be good for like children then? Because children are typically healthy, and for families who are maybe living off one income, maybe that's going to be a way for them to still get some of their medical bills covered where they're not going too often.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's great for individuals that pay for their own medical insurance, families, small business owners, anyone that's having to pay these medical expenses that are going up and up and they're not slowing down.
And I can see it being a big thing for independent contractors because there's no employer. There's no one that's even going to offer it in the first place. So they got to pay out of pocket for a lot of that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be, like I said, it's very expensive, and it keeps going up year after year. And I mean, most plans have a 15% increase. Seems like every year they've been going up at least 15% on their premium costs.
Yeah, it's gone up for me for sure through my employer. So how does this work? I mean, we have a community-based healthcare option. Is it an insurance then, or is it not an insurance?
So it's technically not insurance. So it's called health sharing. So what you do is your premiums get pooled together, and you pay each other's medical bills. So the advantages for that is you cut out all the overheads. You don't have these big corporations with buildings and whatnot. So you're just pooling your money, paying each other's bills. They have a negotiation team. So any medical bill that gets submitted, they negotiate it down as low as possible to keep the savings for everybody that's involved. So the other thing is you're not stuck to any medical group. So you can go to any doctor you choose, which is great. And the doctors aren't restricted to the medical insurance requirements. So a lot of times you can't get prescribed to certain things or get MRIs or things like that until it gets approved by the insurance company. The doctors aren't restricted to that. If something is necessary, you can get it done and get it done right away.
Nice. So it gives you more flexibility to kind of cut the line, not have to wait for the medical companies to approve things. And then for months and months, you're like stuck wondering, what do I do? So that's honestly a really great benefit for Impact Health. So you have to do, it sounds like a contribution every month. So what is that contribution amount, and how does that work?
Monthly contributions start at $379 a month for families. Individuals, I think they start around $79 a month. So it can be done for anyone, any family. Once you hit 65 and you're able to get Medicare, so as long as you have Medicare A and B coverage, then you can use the Impact for a supplement on top of that. So that's very beneficial for most folks because they do have to get a supplemental on top of Medicare.
Yeah, that's actually very affordable. I mean, upwards to like $400. Obviously, you'll go on the website, you'll get the official quote. People will put in their information, but just as a general perspective without getting into like a definitive number, because numbers may change as people fill out the forms. But upwards to like $400. I mean, for a family, that's compared to $3,000. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Where does that copay go? Does that go to Impact Health? Does that stay into like some type of reserve account? Like, where does that money go since this is not an insurance?
Yeah, so it stays within reserve accounts. So everybody has kind of their own account set up. So your premiums go into this account, and then you actually have a portal where you can log in, and you can actually see where your funds go. So if your funds go to the Smith family, you actually see you help pay the Smith's family bill for $5,000 or whatever that amount might be. You can actually see where it goes. You don't get the details on what it covered, but you can kind of see you're helping which family and which families are helping you, which is pretty slick.
Nice. So there's a community aspect to it where you can see your community members and see who you're helping. Let's say you go to the doctor. How does it work? Do you have to submit a bill? Like, how does the doctors know that you have this health insurance? Do you have a card?
Yeah, so it's very similar to your regular medical insurance. So you actually get a card, just looks like an insurance card. You've got the billing codes on the back, very similar to regular insurance. Some doctors may not be familiar with HealthShare and how it works, so they may question it. But you just point them to the back of the card. It's got the codes on the back. There's a phone number that they can call to get everything set up. And what's really nice is they pay the doctors within, it averages 14 days, which in typical insurance, they have to wait a long time to get paid by the insurance companies. So being paid quickly is very beneficial, keeps the doctors happy. If they don't feel comfortable going through the program, you can actually pay it directly and get reimbursed. So there's a few different ways to go about it.
Nice. So there's an alternative just in case, and there's a reimbursement program. Does this cover dental and vision as well? Or is this purely for the medical insurance? So
this is strictly for medical insurance. They do offer a free discount program. So when you do get Impact Health, they actually provide you with a discount for dental and vision. So it's I think it's called Carrington, but it's typically like just a discount plan, which you can save like 40 to 50% off your standard rates. And that's included. It's not an extra fee.
Nice. So there's like and I know we're calling it insurance for the sake of conversation. I know it's not insurance, but if I mix up my words, forgive me. I know it's a more of a program rather than an insurance. Yeah. So the group share kind of aspect of it sounds like they can get discounts towards vision and thing through some of those other providers. So you have like a referral network type of situation. And I kind of like it. So you said that they pre-negotiate the rates down. So if they're negotiating the rates down with the hospital or the doctors, then that final bill is going to be overall much cheaper. So that brings everybody's costs down. Is that kind of how it works?
Exactly. Impacts have been around for 5 years. So they started in 2020, going into their 6th year. So they do not, they haven't raised their rates ever since they started, which is great. So yes, negotiating the bills down as much as possible is great for the community to keep our costs down. That way we don't have to worry about running out of money.
Yeah, that's great. And that's the thing I wish like traditional insurance would do more often is to negotiate the rates down so we can see some cost savings. There's a lot of transparency on the portal. It sounds like you can see the bills that are being covered. Your bills also kind of get submitted through that same portal. What do I need to do for it to be published to the group for that group sharing coverage, or is that automatically happen?
So it's automatic if you have the doctor bill directly to the platform. The other way you can do it, if you do pay for it directly, you can submit the bills online. The other great thing about Impact Health, so you have in the standard industry, it's like a deductible. So they call it a personal responsibility amount. So your monthly premiums based on which PRA you get. So it starts at $2,500 and goes all the way up to $10,000. You get 4 options in between. For my family, I use $2,500 and then my premium is based off that amount. So anything I do that benefits my health, whether I go to the gym, I buy supplementation, get massages, any acupuncture, whatever benefits the body, you can actually get a $150 a month credit towards your deductible or your PRA every month that you're doing something that's beneficial for your health. So they're really trying to encourage people to be healthy and to stay healthy. And I think that's the way insurance should be.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're doing things that are preventative in nature, obviously you should be rewarded for that. Rewarded good behavior for sure. The PRA amount, though, the responsibility amount, that kind of sounds like there's a cap. You said there's a couple different options from $2,500 up to $10,000. So does that work in a traditional way where if you reach that cap, everything beyond that cap is then paid for?
My first $2,500 in medical expenses every year, I pay out of pocket. And anything beyond that, it's a 90-10 split. So 90% gets shared amongst the community, and then you pay 10% of that. And that has a max of $5,000 per year. So my total out of pocket, my premiums, my $2,500 PRA, and then if I had tons of medical expenses, my max would be $5,000 on top of that. So my max that I could totally pay throughout the year if I had a lot of issues came up would be $16,000. When I go to a regular insurance, I mean, just my premiums alone would be double of that. So,
which is awesome. I mean, $3,000 a month, talk about 6 months, you're already at $18,000 in copays anyways. Yeah. So you're going to be at least cutting that bill in half. On the family plan. I mean, in the analogy that we had discussed earlier. With all these contributions, does it meet the federal requirements for having that health insurance? I know it's not health insurance, but does that also qualify as a satisfaction for that requirement?
It does, yeah. So you're not going to have to worry about paying fees to Uncle Sam because, yeah, it does cover their requirements for health insurance, even though it's considered non-health insurance.
Nice. And then for tax purposes, am I able to write off some of the contribution amounts that I'm making for like tax deductions and stuff like that?
Yeah, it just depends. I would definitely talk to your CPA about it. There are plans that you can set up to where it can be deductible. You can use HSA, FSA accounts. I believe you could probably pay the premiums with that, but I would just double check on those. But you can definitely use that for everything else.
Nice. So it meets the federal requirements. There's potentially some opportunities to do the tax write-offs, just like a traditional health insurance. So it kind of follows the same benefits, the same profile. It's kind of treated the same. although it's more of a community-based program rather than a health insurance. Is there an open enrollment? Like for me, if I go and I want to change my medical insurance or anything, I have like a 1-month window to make those changes. For this, I think you said you could join anytime, you could stop anytime, so there's no open enrollment period.
Yeah, there's no open enrollment period. Typical insurance, you've got a window where you have to sign up and be committed for a full year. You can join at any time, and it is month to month, so you can get out of it at any time you want to. Most people don't. I mean, they've got a 95% retention rate, and I think the only reason people end up leaving is because maybe they've started working for another company that provided insurance.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad that there's a alternative to health insurance. I think overall that as this grows and becomes more mainstream, it's going to just force the transparency in the regular medical industry. And I think it's going to bring everybody's costs down because it's really giving people the power rather than the corporations the ability to charge all the extra fees throughout the middle. So it's pretty awesome. You can join anytime, you can leave anytime. If you do decide to leave anytime, though, is there a refund at all?
I don't think there's any type of refund. I think those pooled money does go into the community and stays in the community.
Is there a registration fee at all to be a member? How does the application process work?
You just go to our site. I can get that to anybody that's interested. There's a short 5-minute video to kind of explain how it works. And then you can get an instant quote. And if you're ready to sign up, you'll just fill out the information, input your banking information. And like I said, it's an automatic monthly withdrawal from your account.
So there's a website you go, you put in your information, see if you qualify. There are some exclusions. So it sounds like there's some limitations. How do you identify what those limitations are? Do you got to take a medical test or do you have to provide your medical history to see if you qualify?
No, so they pretty much, they'll ask you a few questions up front. There are some exclusions. So if you are pregnant, you probably want to stick with your current insurance platform until your pregnancy is over. They will cover it if you've had impact in place and then got pregnant. They would cover those medical expenses. But if you're pregnant already, they won't cover those initial expenses.
Nice. And so is there a list online that you can see what things are covered and what things are not covered?
Yeah, they got everything on the site where they can list out all the exclusions there.
Nice. Yeah. So people could definitely go and find out more and see if it's a good fit for them. Do you have any testimonials of someone joining the program and was this has really come through for them from the medical side?
I know a friend of mine, her son had some medical issues and Impact was able to take care of everything and negotiate the bills from $60,000 to less than, I know they were 20% of what they originally billed them for. So I know Impact works and there's a lot of people that has benefited.
Yeah, I'm going to tell my siblings about it. That's for sure. I mean, they themselves are small business owners and they pay out of pocket these enormous amounts. So it might be a huge cost savings for them. And money saved is money made at the end of the day. So
yes,
I might have you a few referrals shortly. I think the thing that I like the most is how would I even be able to call and negotiate that price down? For Impact Health being able to do that on my behalf is huge because I always want to know, can I get that bill down and can I save money? And Impact Health kind of does it for you. So it's a good aspect to the community and to the medical system.
Yeah, even if you have a pre-existing condition where it's not being covered by Impact, after you just joined, they will still negotiate those bills down for you for your benefit.
Nice. Yeah, that's huge. Even if it's not covered, they'll still try to negotiate that down.
Yes.
Now, there's also a reward program to this. So I think you kind of alluded to it. If you're healthy, you're going to the gym. So what are those rewards and what kind of benefits do they get from that rewards program?
Yeah, so there is just a $150 a month discount off your deductible or your PRA. So going to the gym, buying supplements, getting massages, acupuncture, anything that you're doing to benefit your health, every month you submit those receipts and they knock up to $150 off your deductible amount, your PRA.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, if you're already paying for it anyways, you're already healthy, you're already active, why not take advantage of the extra discount? So it makes it even more affordable for joining this program. Yeah, that's awesome. If someone's on the fence about joining Impact Health or going with the traditional insurance route, what would you say to them?
Definitely look at your options. I mean, traditional insurance has been around a long time and they've made a lot of changes in the industry that I don't think are for the benefit of people. So I think Impact Health is going to change the way people look at insurance and look at medical coverage. And how it can actually benefit your health if you're being more proactive and not reactive and not having those restrictions on what kind of treatments the doctors can prescribe. I think it's way better personally, and I think you should definitely look at it before you go to a traditional insurance plan.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think it's a great alternative for many people that can't afford healthcare or can't afford the premiums anyways for some of the healthcare options. Is there anything about Impact Health that we haven't covered, Aaron, that you want to touch base on? Anything we left out?
They do have free telehealth, so it doesn't matter how many times you want to do a telehealth visit. There's no charge for that. They include that in your premium costs. Other than that, I think we covered most of their benefits.
Well, just to give a quick overview, it sounds like it's community-based. People can go to the portal, they can sign up, they can reduce their fees. Those bills get posted to the community. The community pays for it. Obviously, it's negotiated down. And so that's basically a community way to do a healthcare alternative that's a lot cheaper and more affordable for people, essentially, that really need the health coverage. For people that want to find out more, where can they go to the website? How can they reach out to you? How can they, get to the social media links and take a deeper dive beyond what the conversation that we had today?
Yeah, so if you go to my site, it's called allmylinks.com/Aaron Pro, Pro, and you'll see Impact Health on there as well as my other business links as well.
Awesome. We'll make sure we get that in the description below. So for the audio listeners, please click into the description to find that link. Aaron, we do a segment where the last guest leaves a question for the next guest. And the last guest left this question: what is the best piece of advice someone has ever given you about business?
Always be learning. Always be learning is, I think, probably the best advice. Whether that be reading books, listen to podcasts, always be learning. Get out of your box that you're stuck in. Have your mind open to different ways of looking at things, a different way of doing things.
Yeah, there's always another way to do something. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great taking a deeper dive in Impact Health and learning more about this alternative that's affordable for people who are really in need.
Great. Thank you.
Well, if today's episode helped you think differently about healthcare options, share it with someone who's also navigating rising medical costs. And as always, stay informed, ask better questions, and make the decision that aligns best with your family's goals. Thank you for watching this episode of the Key Causes Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one.